Hello. I'm very happy to be connected to you today and to give you a very brief introduction about Maharishi Ayurveda and what it can accomplish in the area of medical education and also for the healthcare system of a country as a whole. My name is Lothar Pirc. I'm founder and owner of the Maharishi Ayurveda Health Center in Bad Ems, which is a state-recognized private hospital for Ayurvedic treatments for the last 30 years. And I'm also professor of practice at Dr. D.Y. Patil University Center for Online Learning in Pune, in India, where I teach thousands of students in the principles of Maharishi's Vedic science, especially Ayurveda. And it's my great joy today to be connected to you all. I will show you some pictures that you can see what is behind the whole thing and some of the scientific research, because the picture will tell you more than 1,000 words. This is the picture here of the clinic in Bad Ems. Can you see it well? This used to be the former palace of Kaiser Wilhelm I. It has a tradition of hundreds of years of healing because we have 6 hot springs under the building. And at the invitation of the state government, we were asked 30 years ago to start the clinic here. And we have treated more than 30,000 people with Panchakarma, a specialized detoxifying and rejuvenating treatment of Maharishi Ayurveda. This is the team here of our wonderful staff. We have about 70 people here serving our guests. And the clinic has received about 25 national and international awards, including from the International Charitable Foundation in Russia, conducted in the Academy of Sciences and Chief Minister of Government. So many appreciations from all over the world. Many ministers of the Indian government have paid a visit to our center. And this is a picture of my teacher, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, who inspired me to start the clinic. And he revived Ayurveda together with the greatest Ayurvedic experts from India around 50 years ago. Maharishi conducted many conferences with the family traditions of India. And the word Maharishi means great seer. And the ancient scriptures, they were written and cognized by the great Maharishis like Charaka and Susutra from the ancient Vedic times. But many things of these very precious therapeutic and diagnostic approaches, they were lost over time. And Maharishi revived them together with the family traditions of India and made a big high standard regarding also the scientific research of Ayurveda and has developed high standards for the clinics around the world for producing the products and for training doctors and therapists. So Maharishi Ayurveda means authentic Ayurveda in a very high quality, standardized all over the world. And the topic, the goal, is really to create a disease-free society. This will happen through prevention, rejuvenation, revitalization, and cure. And I know it sounds maybe too ambitious to create a disease-free society, but what I have seen over the last 40 years working full-time in the area of Maharishi Ayurveda, I really believe if this knowledge is introduced in its completeness already in the educational systems, it's really possible to create a much more healthy world than what we have now today. So the great goals of Ayurveda are first of all prevention, then revitalization, rejuvenation, cure. Enlightenment means to unfold the full mental potential, and as I said before, to create a more healthy society. Maharishi Ayurveda is consciousness-based, and it's holistic, authentic, and reliable, and it's free from harmful side effects. What does it mean when we say consciousness-based? Consciousness-based means in today's world, people use only a very small fraction of their mental potential. And in the ancient Vedic scriptures, yoga and meditation is a very important part to really create a good prevention and also for many curative approaches. And we will go a little bit later into some of the scientific findings. Now, if you look how good health is defined by one of the classical Maharishis, Susutra, it says whose doshas, these are the kind of metabolic principles, when they are in balance, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, then whose Agni, the appetite is good, where all the tissues, the dhatus, are function normally, the excretions are working in balance. And now comes a very important part, whose self, mind, senses remain full of bliss. He is called a healthy person. So the inner happiness is one indication of good health. Now, what is unique about Ayurveda? Very often I'm asked by the press and leaders of society from so many countries, what is actually the difference between Ayurveda and modern medicine? Modern medicine has very great merits, of course, but Ayurveda is a very good support. And what is unique about Ayurveda is that we know that there are 6 stages of diseases. We consider imbalances as the root cause of disease. And these imbalances, they develop into 6 stages into a disease. First, the doshas accumulate, then they get aggravated, then they start to disseminate, then they localize usually in a weak spot of the body, and then they manifest and before they finally disrupt. Now, from the Ayurvedic point of view, modern medicine can detect diseases usually only from stage number 4 or 5. And in Ayurveda, we have a means like pulse diagnosis, where we can feel the skilled Vaidya, the Ayurvedic expert. And this is something that every doctor can basically learn, where we can feel through touching the pulse in a very systematic and scientific way, we can detect the diseases in the early stages before they have manifested. And that has the big advantage that in the early stages of disease, it's much easier to treat. Some lifestyle change, like going to bed on time, like having the proper diet, eating the right food at the right time, having exercises, experiencing inner calmness of the mind through transcendental meditation, through yoga postures. We have about 20 different approaches, which are shown here, that can be utilized to come back and create balance in the system again, so that the disease doesn't have to develop further. So we have mental approaches like transcendental meditation. We have physical approaches like cleaning the body with Panchakarma. This is the detoxification therapy that we offer in my clinic here in Bad Ems. Then diet is very important. We have herbal medicines. And in Ayurveda says if you have the proper herbs, but you have the wrong diet, the herbs really can't help fully. And it also says if you have the proper diet, then you don't need the herbs. So the diet has to be adjusted to the constitution of the person, to the imbalance. It has to be adjusted to the seasons, so many factors. So health education and proper behavior through daily routine is very important in Ayurveda. And there are even approaches that take the environment into the account, like the architecture, how to orient the building. It's called Stapatya Veda. And there are also approaches to take care of the collective health. So in a situation when we have war, when we have terrorism in the world, when there is crime, that means the collective health is not proper. And we know from the ancient Ayurvedic tradition that through the group practice of yoga, yoga means the settlement of the mind, when the mind is in this inner peaceful harmony and bliss consciousness. And when this is practiced in big groups or by many people, like 1% of a population, then we have seen that the collective consciousness is improving and negativity in the society, like accidents and crime rate, they go down. So all this is part of Maharishi Ayurveda. One very fundamental approach is the technique of transcendental meditation, which is a very simple, natural procedure that is practiced twice a day, in the morning, in the afternoon, where you sit comfortably in a chair and you experience a very profound state of rest, which is about twice as deep as during sleep, but yet you are fully alert. And about 10 million people from all walks of life who have learned and who are practicing transcendental meditation, and it has such wonderful benefits, like unfolding the full mental potential. Now, talking in terms of health, fear and anxiety is a big problem in our society. Many diseases are stress-related, psychosomatic diseases. And in this study, it was conducted, it's a meta-analysis combining or including 146 studies worldwide, which measure the effect of different relaxation techniques to reduce fear and anxiety. And as you can see here in the blue bar, that TM, which stands for Transcendental Meditation, is about twice as effective as other forms of relaxation or meditation or progressive muscle relaxation or biofeedback. This study on transcendental meditation was sponsored by the National Institute of Health in America. The American Heart Association got a grant of $5 million to conduct the study. And the goal was to find natural methods that can help people to reduce high blood pressure, which is the killer #1 in the world today. And they have selected the most difficult group, Afro-Americans living in densely populated parts of big cities who have suffered for more than 10 years with hypertension. And they offered the people transcendental meditation, TM, or progressive muscle relaxation, or a combination of diet and exercise. And as you can see, that TM was 7 times more effective than the lifestyle changes, diet and exercise, and 4 times more effective than the progressive muscle relaxation. It was shown that for transcendental meditation, the aging process is slowed down, that people who meditate up to 5 years, their biological age is about 5 years younger, and those who meditate more than 5 years, their biological age was 12 years younger. And they took a group of 2,000 meditators with the average age of 40 years, and they compared it with the whole society of America. And they took many various aspects into account, like blood pressure, depression, stress hormones, memory, daytime sleep, all the things that go worse with the aging process, they became better through the transcendental meditation technique. This is my most favorite study. It was conducted by the biggest health insurance company in America, and they have in the state of Iowa 5,000 members, and 2,000 out of them are practicing transcendental meditation, and they compared the expenditure in different areas over a period of 5 years. And they found that the costs for treating heart diseases went down 87%, tumors like cancer 56%, nervous disorders even 94%, just by closing the eyes twice a day for 20 minutes. This was just a small glimpse. There are about 700 studies by now, which have been conducted in more than 250 independent universities and medical schools in 33 countries over the last 40 years. And they're all collected in this collected paper, 7 volumes of scientific research. Now in my center in Bad Ems, we do the Panchakarma treatment, which is a very systematic and very pleasant detoxification and purification treatment, which is purifying the channels of the body and allows the intelligence of the body to flow from each cell to the physiology. And it also reestablishes the connection between the body and the inner intelligence, which is the source of health. And these treatments, you can imagine some beautiful oil massages. The men are treated by men, the ladies by ladies, for about 3 hours a day. And we have about 40 different treatment approaches. If you visit my website, which I will show you later, you can get an idea about these wonderful treatments. There are some scientific studies also that have proven that the environmental toxins, so-called fat-soluble toxins, like pesticides and herbicides, which usually stay 50 years in the body, the half duration time is 25 years. And we had a control group who just had a vegetarian organic diet and health education programs. And the control group, about 50 people, were doing the Panchakarma rejuvenation treatment. And it is a blind study. They were taking the blood samples of the different people, the different groups, and they sent it to Ohio State University. No, it was Colorado Spring University, I'm sorry. And that what they were just measuring 10 environmental toxins in the blood. And the control group had basically no reduction, just 1%. And the Panchakarma group, a reduction of 58% after 12 days of treatment. A study from a German university, Freiburg Medical University, showing that the harmful cholesterol for the treatment is going down by 10.5%, which means the risk factor for getting a heart attack is 21% after this rejuvenation treatment. This study was conducted by Dr. Walchertz. Even the free radicals in the blood, which are very difficult to remove, they are significantly reduced after the Panchakarma treatment. Now, this is a study about one of the herbal preparations, which is called Amrit Kalash. It's a double-blind study. It was conducted by the All Asia Science Institute in New Delhi. And they had about 50 people who were going through the chemotherapy, ladies with breast cancer. And they were giving them, in addition to the chemotherapy, this one herbal preparation called Amrit Kalash. And what they found was, in 22 categories of side effects, the harmful side effects were reduced by half. Here you see the 6 cycles of the chemotherapy in relation to vomiting. Now, if you imagine if this preparation, this approach is used at the 6th stage, has already such great benefits. If it would be introduced in stage number 3 or 4 in the development of cancer, it could be prevented in most cases. So a lot of money could be saved for the health insurances around the world, but more importantly, a lot of suffering can be prevented by using these Ayurvedic approaches. So this was just a glimpse of the scientific research. The whole approach is very simple. We would be very happy to collaborate with you to introduce Maharishi Ayurveda in the training of doctors and nurses in the medical profession, and also in the students for health education about proper diet. And here are some websites of the International Maharishi Ayurveda Foundation in the Netherlands, of the clinic here in Bad Ems in Germany, and also my personal website. And I would be very happy if I could have stirred some interest in you. And through our colleague, we will be able to connect with you. And thank you very much for your attention and all best wishes. Have a nice day.